Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel at NDN TV Nigeria. Click on the subscribe button and be the first to get notifications. And now, let's join ace broadcaster MAMODE AKUGHA as he takes us inside the Niger Delta.
Hello out there and welcome to the program. It's Inside the Niger Delta, the authentic voice of Nigeria's oil-rich region. I'm your regular host, MAMODE AKUGHA.
Inside the Niger Delta.
The recent End Bad Governance protest in Nigeria was aimed at bringing the federal government to account for its policies, which some Nigerians consider unfriendly, as well as holding it to account for its utilization of the country's resources, which they claim have not had any positive impact on the lives of ordinary Nigerians. While the protest was on, Nigeria's Information and National Orientation Minister, Mohammed Idris, attempted to convince Nigerians about the good intentions of the Tinubu administration. While speaking to the media, he asked Nigerians to also demand good governance from their state governments, which had received increased monthly federal allocation from the Tinubu administration as a result of the removal of fuel subsidy. This led many Deltans to beam their searchlight on the state government, which currently receives the highest allocation in the country. Delta State, under the leadership of Right Honorable Sheriff Oborewori, has within the last 1 year received about 500 billion naira in statutory allocation. For most Deltans, there's little or no evidence on ground to justify the receipt of such huge federal allocation. In response to queries from Deltans, Executive Assistant to Governor Oborewori on New Media, Mr. Felix Ofuo, addressed a press conference last week in Asaba, where he disclosed that the state government had to spend over 130 billion naira of its allocation in the past 1 year to pay off part of the 465.4 billion naira debt burden left for the state by the immediate past government of Governor Ifeanyi Okowa. On the 29th of May 2023, when Sheriff Oborewori was sworn in as governor of Delta State, he promised in his inaugural speech to faithfully implement his more agenda, which was targeted at improving the socio-economic fortunes of Deltans and Delta State. Contrary to expectations, Governor Oborewori failed to bring Deltans up to speed with the financial situation in which he met the state. Delta, the highest oil-producing state in Nigeria, though continuously solvent because of its huge receipts from federal allocation and internally generated revenue, and its debt-to-revenue ratio, is, however, in a financial mess orchestrated largely by the immediate past governor of the state, Dr. Ifeanyi Okowa, who had accumulated an unhealthy debt burden of 465.4 billion naira, despite receiving about 3 trillion in his 8 years in office. On the same day, May 29, 2023, newly sworn-in President Bola Ahmed Tinubu in faraway Abuja announced to Nigerians that subsidy on petroleum products was gone forever. One of the dividends of that policy of the Tinubu administration was increased federal allocation to states. This is evident in Delta State's financial receipts since last year. Between January and June 2024, Delta State received a sum of 260.7 billion naira. In fact, for the month of June 2024 alone, Delta State received a total sum of 43.7 billion naira, which in itself is almost the same amount allocated to the 5 states of the entire Southeast. This improved allocation, coupled with grants from the federal government, as well as increased internally generated revenue, leaves Delta State with a lot of resources for development. However, some Deltans, like Okpari Theophilus Onojege, a journalist, have expressed concerns that this improved revenue has not translated into increased development for the state, as well as empowerment of its people.
Do you see this money in the state, in the life of the state? Where are the industry? Are we preparing for life after crude oil? The answer is no. Where are the agriculture? What are we producing in Delta? Where are the industry? So we are asking that all of this money we have received, over half a trillion naira has been received under 1 year. What are we doing with the money we've received so far? These are the questions we are asking.
In response to queries from Deltans, the executive assistant to Governor Oborewori on new media, Felix Ofuo, says Governor Oborewori has judiciously spent the funds which accrued to Delta State since he took over the reins of power. He revealed that the state's huge debt burden had received the governor's attention, as within 1 year in office, he had paid over 130 billion naira of the 465.4 billion naira debt left by Dr. Ifeanyi AKUGHA.
This administration inherited a debt of 465 billion naira. And within 1 year, in fact, at March this year, this government has paid 130 billion out of that money. If he inherited a debt of 465 billion and by March he had paid 130 billion, common sense tells you that before he leaves office, that debt will have been wiped off.
The judicious use of Delta State resources by Governor Sheriff Oborewori was also corroborated by Chief Mrs. Nkem Okwofu.
He found that there were allowances and arrears here and there with the civil servants. He paid off all of them. He has completed some of the roads that Dr. Kowa started. So many of them are going to be commissioned soon. And you can see what is going on in Warri area. Even right now, when the road is not yet finished, the traffic has reduced. And whom is he using to do that? Nobody would have ever thought that Julius Berger can come to Delta State. Nobody ever thought of that, but he has brought them. Funny enough, in all this he's doing, he has not borrowed a kobo. We have not heard, he has not borrowed a kobo. So he obviously knows how to manage resources within his limit.
No doubt, the monies already paid by the government of Right Honorable Sheriff Oborewori to offset the debt owed by the state will have been used for proper infrastructural development. Deltans today are a bit surprised that Governor Oborewori did not inform the state upon assumption of office that the state has a debt of over 460 billion naira. In other words, in trying to implement his more agenda faithfully, Governor Oborewori had been hampered by the huge debt burden left by Dr. Ifeanyi AKUGHA. Comrade Sheriff Molade says Dr. AKUGHA must give account of his use of Delta State resources.
The last 8 years of the immediate past governor, Senator Dr. Ifeanyi AKUGHA, a lot of funds were borrowed, amounting to billions of naira. Towards the exit of the immediate past government, what did they borrow them for? And which projects were this money being used for? As Deltans, we want to know whether AKUGHA used the money to facilitate his vice presidential ambitions that they sponsored PDP or true. We don't know.
In the same vein, elder statesman and former Federal Commissioner for Information, Chief Edwin Clark, who had repeatedly accused Governor AKUGHA of embezzling Delta State funds, says the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission must without fail conduct an investigation on the misappropriation of Delta State's funds by former Governor AKUGHA.
Everything I submitted about him, I got it from the government, the federal government. So there's no hiding place. His case is a naked one. He stole our money, embezzled our money, and he must pay for it.
In 2022, Inside the Niger Delta had visited the all-important Ughelli-Asaba Highway project, which had been under construction for over 10 years, and asked Governor Ifeanyi AKUGHA to prioritize that project and complete it. That report placed Inside the Niger Delta in direct confrontation with the AKUGHA-led Delta State government, which was at that time very busy procuring loans left, right, and center in the guise of completing such infrastructure projects like the Ughelli-Asaba Expressway. But as time has now revealed, those monies may have been diverted as the Ughelli-Asaba Road remains uncompleted even to this day. Former Governor Okowa's penchant for taking loans has now plunged Delta State into a huge debt burden, making it one of the most highly indebted states in Nigeria.
Inside the Niger Delta.
Delta State Governor Right Honorable Sheriff Oborevwori has promised to work closely with the Niger Delta Development Commission (NDDC) to speed up development in the state. He also charged the intervention agency to remain focused on improving the livelihoods and living conditions of the people across the oil-rich Niger Delta region. Governor Oborevwori made this known while hosting the NDDC management team led by its Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer, Dr. Samuel Ogbuku, at the Government House in Asaba.
The public-private partnership initiative championed by the current board and management of the Niger Delta Development Commission, NDDC, was conceived to improve the livelihoods of people across the largely underdeveloped communities in the oil-rich region through the execution of projects and programs in collaboration with key development partners in the region, such as state governments, oil companies, and international organizations. A successful example of this type of partnership is the completed 25.7-kilometer Ogbia-Nembe Road and bridges in Bayelsa State. The project was jointly funded by the NDDC and Shell Petroleum Development Company to connect several previously isolated communities in the area. Continuing on this trajectory, Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of the Commission, Dr. Samuel Ogbuku, last week led a team to meet Governor Sheriff Oborevwori of Delta State to discuss the possibilities of a tripartite partnership, including Chevron Nigeria Limited, to construct the Omadino-Okerenkoko Escravos Road in Warri axis of the state.
Digging this road to Escravos, it will attract so much economic benefit. It will also improve on oil and gas investment in the state. This is one of the major projects we thought we should also come and discuss with the Delta State government to see how they can also come on board, which would be a tripartite partnership between NDDC, Delta State government, and Chevron Nigeria Limited.
Governor Oborevwori, in his response, assured his guests of the state government's readiness to enter into any partnership with NDDC that will bring about meaningful development in the state. He also advised the management of the intervention agency to ensure strict monitoring of its ongoing projects to prevent unwholesome practices by some greedy contractors.
When you partner together, look at the job that you can do. The one that you know you cannot do, hand it over to us. We'll do it. The dualization we are doing, sector CA, sector C1 and C2, the dualization from Ughelli to Asaba. The TSC roundabout, the F roundabout, all those are federal roads. Doing them. We engage in the special for that contract. All those projects are federal roads. But you see, we are the user. It's the people in Delta State that are the ones using the road.
Governor Oborevwori went on to task Dr. Ogbuku and his team on the completion of all ongoing and abandoned projects in the state and across the region, noting that the leadership of the commission must remain consistent with the founding objectives of the commission, which are to add value and alleviate the sufferings of the people in the region.
Inside the Niger Delta. Standout Properties Limited presents a real estate opportunity of a lifetime. Bloom Towers, a waterfront twin high-rise buildings of 19 and 21 stories at the edge of the Atlantic Ocean in the prestigious Oniru area, Victoria Island, Lagos. Bloom Towers is a green and smart building project consisting of 1, 2 and 3 bedroom apartments and maisonettes, as well as 10,300 square meters available space for commercial and corporate use. Built for completion completion in 2027, Bloom Towers has 236 units available for sale with a starting price of 100 million naira. Lock down a unit today with a down payment of 20% and spread the balance over the next 24 months. Contact us on 080-693-47060 or 091-22-656-975.
It is a project that will bring huge return on investment.
Bloom Towers, from foundation to skyline. Ezekiel Group, oil and gas, dredging, power and air transportation. Ezekiel Group, petroleum product sufficiency, energy sustainability and infrastructure development.
Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of the Niger Delta Development Commission, NDDC, Dr. Samuel Ogbuku, says the Commission, along with its entrepreneurial and skill acquisition programs, will continue to invest in education to boost sustainable development in the region. Dr. Ogbuku made this known last week during the 2024 edition of the NDDC-sponsored moot and mock trial competition for university law faculties in the Niger Delta region, which took place at the Port Harcourt campus of the Nigerian Law School.
In furtherance of its numerous youth and student empowerment schemes, the Niger Delta Development Commission (NDDC) last week, through its Directorate of Legal Services, held its annual moot and mock trial competition for law students in the Niger Delta region. The 2024 edition brought participants from 13 public and private universities from the region. They include the Rivers State University, University of Uyo, Abia State University, Niger Delta University, University of Benin, and University of Port Harcourt. Others are the University of Calabar, Edwin Clark University, Delta State University, Benson Idahosa University, Ambrose Ali University, Arthur Jarvis University, and Imo State University. Among legal icons at the event were Chief Onweze Okocha, SAN, Chinonso Muozoba, who is the Deputy Director General and Head of Campus, Nigerian Law School, Port Harcourt Campus, Ayodeji Adedipe, SAN, and Damian Okoro, SAN. NDDC Director for Legal Affairs, Dr. Stephen Igomwaye, said the competition was intended to help the students develop practical legal trial skills.
Through the moot court competition, we bring together law students, future lawyers, from universities across the region in a healthy contest. The students discuss issues in environmental law, oil and gas law, legal innovations in the petroleum industry, and sustainable development, with a view to offering solutions from a legal standpoint.
After arrival on the 5th of August 2024, the event got underway on August 6th at Dr. Nabo Graham Douglas campus of the Nigerian Law School in Port Harcourt, Rivers State. Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of the Commission, Dr. Samuel Ogbuku, in his address, said that the court trial competition is important in equipping young and aspiring lawyers in the Niger Delta region with the requisite skills and knowledge to excel in their chosen career path.
The critical, important role of legal education and the legal profession in shaping our nation's destiny cannot be overemphasized. So, to the participants of this year's moot court competition, as you gather together in healthy contest to examine the challenges of the Niger Delta region from the standpoint of law and legal issues in a competitive way, I charge you to engage in intellectual, simulating arguments that highlights our peculiarities as a region and canvass solutions that will guide and shape future lawmaking that will facilitate the even, rapid, and sustainable development of our beloved region.
NDDC Governing Board Chairman Mr. Chiedu Ebie, who was also present at the event, reiterated the Commission's commitment to upgrading the skills and competencies of the youths in the region.
We will continue to do the things that we need to do to ensure that we make the right impact in the region in terms of human capital development, education, and all those things that we need to do to improve the quality of people that we produce from the regions.
Special guest of honor at the event, Chief OCJ Okocha SAN and 19th President of the Nigerian Bar Association, spoke on the pivotal role of the Niger Delta region in the overall development and prosperity of Nigeria. He, however, expressed worry about the ongoing proliferation of development agencies in the country.
This, I hope, should sound, what I would say, a caution to all concerned. There are things that should not be politicized. Niger Delta is still a special region in this country, and its development needs are so massive that nobody should whittle down the impacts that this commission can make in this our region.
With the competition in full gear, the panel of judges headed by Honorable Justice Prince Chikamini paid rapt attention to the students' presentations.
When critical decision as related to the nomination of the board of trustees.
And of course, notify our legal friends on the other side that we will be objecting to the jurisdiction of the courts during our final address.
After the final rounds, the judges also provided some feedback on the entire exercise.
The moment the adverse party does not raise objection, the document will automatically be admitted. It depends on the nature of the document. If it is a document that is inadmissible at all, under any circumstance, for example, a public document that ought to be certified, it's not certified, and then you're bringing the photocopy of the public document.
For their part, students like Ignatius Oplewu from the University of Calabar and Onwunka Blessing from Abia State University, who were lead counsels for their institutions, were full of appreciation to the NDDC for putting the competition together.
I believe that this arrangement is one that is very beneficial to students, law students, and just not law students alone, but non-law students that have the interest of the Niger Delta region at heart. And this is a good starting point.
Well, I just want to thank them for the NDDC for this program. The kind of reception we received was so warming. It was so nice.
At the end, the University of Calabar emerged winner of the NDDC 2024 Moot and Mock Trial competition, taking home a cash prize of 2 million naira and a fully funded 1-month internship at Okocha and Okocha Law Firm in Port Harcourt, Rivers State. Imo State University followed closely in second place and received a prize of 1.5 million naira, while Rivers State University secured third place, earning them a reward of 1 million naira. The young aspiring lawyers were treated to a dinner by the NDDC before departing for their various universities. Inside the Niger Delta.
Senator Doye Diri of Bayelsa State has continued to demonstrate his commitment to positioning the state as a destination of choice for both local and foreign investors. While these efforts are beginning to yield positive results with the recent influx of international development partners into the state, the governor has shown no sign of slowing down as he continues to attend several high-profile meetings and conferences across the globe in his quest to promote the state's vast business potential.
The executive governor of Bayelsa State, Senator Doye Diri, who is now serving his second and final term, has become a symbol of visionary leadership and transformation in the state and beyond. In his first term in office, Diri established a strong foundation for significant infrastructure advancement, focusing on the development of roads, bridges, schools, and healthcare facilities. With appreciable progress, just as in the ongoing Nembe Brass Road and Yenogwa Oporoma Ukubie Road project, Senator Diri has embarked on a new venture of marketing the state's vast potentials in agriculture, maritime ecosystem, and tourism on the global stage. In June this year, the governor was in the Bahamas for the Afrexim Bank's annual general meeting, where he met with captains of industry and high-ranking business executives.
We will develop our state, but we'll also look for development partners. across the whole world. And we had very fruitful meetings, and I've tasked my team to follow up all the meetings so that we can have investors the way they are investing foreign currency in Lagos. We will have to create jobs for our people.
And in May, Governor Diri received the Danish ambassador, Sun Krogstrup, in company of country representative of the United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime, Oliver Stope, who were in the state to launch a project that would support and strengthen local security architecture, as well as explore areas of possible partnership.
So we'll be looking for your support and soliciting for your support in terms of aquaculture, in terms of agro-allied and agricultural businesses, so that we can actually encourage small and medium-scale enterprises to be productive in this state.
The safety and security of our commercial vessels and of our seafarers is of tremendous importance to the government of Denmark. And that is why the government of Denmark is committed to address the root causes of insecurity, crime and violence at sea and also on land in the Gulf of Guinea.
Just last month, Governor Diri also agreed to partner with the government of Trinidad and Tobago to develop the Bayelsa State Industrial Park when he received the High Commissioner Wendell De Leonardo in the state. Governor Doye Diri also welcomed a delegation of ambassadors and representatives from the government of Finland, Germany and the European Union who attended the meeting of the South-South Governors Forum under the auspices of the Braced Commission. Their discussions focused on the development and security of the South-South region. Another evidence to Diri's fruitful engagement was in April this year, when Bayelsa state government secured 200 million naira in support for micro, small and medium enterprises in the state from the United Nations Development Programme, UNDP. This followed the administration's 200,000 naira grant each to 420 small business owners across the 105 wards in the state. These ongoing efforts and future engagements will undoubtedly position Bayelsa as a thriving hub of commerce, innovation and prosperity under the Governor Doye Diri's visionary leadership.
Inside the Niger Delta.
Well, that's the size of our package on the program for today. Inside the Niger Delta, the authentic voice of Nigeria's oil-rich region, will be back same time, same station next week. Until then, you can follow us on our social media handles showing right now on your screens. And please remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel at NDNTV Nigeria. Until next week, I am MAMODE AKUGHA thanking you for staying tuned. Bye for now.